welcome to the Ruden Report podcast. I'm Dave Ruden, and the theme for today, and actually the theme on the Ruden Report for the next couple of days is going to be girls lacrosse. We have, if this was a football game on Wednesday, it would be one of the most hyped games, not just of the year, but of the last decade or two. We're going to have the number 1 and 4 teams in the country playing each other, and they happen to be rivals in the next town, and the level of girls lacrosse that you'll see, it will be as high as it's played in the country. So we're lucky to have both teams here. And we had Lisa Lindley from Darien on last week, and I don't play favorites. I love them both, joining me right now, and actually in the press box at New Canaan High School.
Oh yeah,
Rams coach home there, Kristin, is Kristin Woods.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, there we go. That's where you all want to be at 4:30 on Wednesday afternoon, right there.
There we go. As I'm multitasking with my children at another activity.
So, Kristin, how you doing? I got to see you and the team yesterday against Longmeadow, Mass, and you scored about 3 goals in the first minute. And I was about to tweet, okay, we can start the countdown to Darien, and then next thing you know, the score was 5-5, and I said, I'm happy I didn't do that. And then the next thing you know, 13 goals later, and it's an 18-5 win, and that's pretty typical of what the team's been doing so far.
Yeah, we're off to a great start. I'm really happy with the way the girls have come together after we lost 9 seniors last year, who most are playing at the collegiate level. So the start of the season has been fantastic. It was a little bit slow at the beginning with just like where our schedule fell. We didn't have many FCX games at the beginning of the year, and I couldn't get any out of league games right away. So we had, April 4th, we played Ludlow, and then a week later we played Trumbull, but it gave us a lot of time to prepare and just go over everything that we needed conceptually on the team.
Maybe that helped you a little bit just because you lost so many seniors. I mean, you have a lot of players back, but you've integrated even some sisters of graduated players into the lineup, and everything. Just, you haven't missed a beat so far from last year.
Yeah, everybody has filled in absolutely extraordinary. Cece Patterson in goal for Claire Mahoney. Claire has been playing at Brown, and Cece stepped right in goal and hasn't missed a beat. She had an amazing game against Somers. I think she had 12 saves that day. A great game yesterday against Longmeadow, and we're really looking forward to seeing, what she has this coming week.
Yeah, and you've got it seems like you have a patent on the team for it seems like it's only like the last decade you've had a patent on the team.
That's very true. Every 3 years I got another patent, so I've been very happy with the wonderful patent family. Sydney has played extraordinary. She had 3 goals in the Somers game. I think she had 2 in the Longmeadow game, and she's been consistent on the attacking end, and we're definitely excited to have her in there.
When the season started, what was you knew you were losing a lot. You knew you had some good players coming back, and then I guess you just had to see how some of these newcomers were gonna integrate with everybody. Was there any part of the team that was a concern for you coming in, any aspect that you weren't sure how it was going to be?
Attack wise, we did bring back, Caroline Underwood and Stella Nolan. So I knew we'd have senior leadership there. I just didn't know who was gonna, step up and really be, replacing the Dylan Patton. And Sydney went right in, and so did Maddie Tully. So Maddie Tully took her sister's spot, Caitlin Tully's spot, and Sydney Patton took Dylan Patton's spot. So we've got a lot of sisters making huge impacts.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost do a story on all the sisters that you've had. Some, even 1 or 2. You got two Pattersons out there, right there now. So
Yeah,
you've
and Ella
and two,
Patterson has, I mean, she's a returning starter for me, and she's been my leader on defense since the beginning of the year. She's been extraordinary. She plays aggressive. She pushes kids in practice, and Gettysburg is going to be psyched to have her next year.
and then you got Devin Russell back, and she's kind of like a quarterback out there, running things for the team.
Devin is definitely aggressive. She likes the intensity and she likes playing hard, and she'll, definitely lead the attacking end as a midfielder. But she also has a huge impact on defense as well.
Is there anything you can pinpoint? I mean, your program, Darien, I mean, you guys have been strong you guys are strong every year, but I mean, you both of you at the same time have taken it up to where you're the top teams in the country. Is it just happened to be where you've had a couple of really, really outstanding classes, or is there something else going on that is contributing to that?
I think that, every family that's gone through here with the Hardens, I think that they have such a great, family, and with the Pattons, the Pattons, the Tullys, and everybody else, they feed off the competitive drive and the discipline that, all these families have instilled in their kids. And I've just been really fortunate to be able to coach all of them. And I think that, with how competitive both us and Darien are, we push each other to make each other better. And I hope that we get out there and we play our best game, and they come out, they play their best game, and we'll see who ends up with the win.
And that happened 3 times last year, and that was your lone loss of the season was in the regular season to Darien. And I said, and I still believe it, that they had the best regular season maybe any FCAC team has had, going undefeated against the schedule they played. And then you kind of ruined everything by winning the FCAC and state championships. So what was that like last year? Just even being part of that, to being part of playing, having 3 lacrosse games played on that level, and then being not only getting to beat an unbelievable team twice, but it's also your biggest rival from the next round.
It was a huge accomplishment for our program because we had never won an FCAC in a state in the same year. I think that it was a huge step forward for us, and I think that the kids now believe they can do it. And I think once you get that in the high schoolers, that who knows what will come next.
So you maybe you can do this better than me, but you know sports in general. Just for people who don't know girls lacrosse, if they come down to the game Wednesday and you're both undefeated, you're fourth, they're first, what the level, what kind of lacrosse they're going to see? Or I don't know if you want to compare it to another sport. It's like I said, if this was a football game, it would be just like it would have been last year, ultra hyped up.
I just think you got to watch the competitiveness and the athleticism of all of these kids out on the field. I can go down my whole entire roster and say they would probably start at any other school. Our kids are really competitive and fit, and they work at it. And, it doesn't just come to them. They've been doing clinics and doing workouts, and really putting in the time and effort in the off season to get to that level.
What have been the keys to your success so far? You look at your scores and you've been blowing everybody out so far. You still got a tough schedule ahead of you. So but so far, if there's a weakness on the team, I don't see it, and none of your opponents have found it yet.
That's my secret. No, I always tell the kids, let's just get better every day. every day is not going to be our best, but we're going to get better today. And whether it's, on shooting or ground balls or drive controls, let's be disciplined. Let's focus on the little things, and, the big things will come in the end. So I think one of the big themes that we learned from last year was just to get better each day.
Do you think the fact that you lost to them in the regular season helped you beat them in the playoffs?
Uh, we don't know, because if I had won in regular season, then you just,
You would have liked
you don't know
the
what would have
sweep, but
happened.
I didn't know if just having lost to them helped you in terms of. I mean, you don't have to. A Darien New Canaan game, you and Lisa don't have to give pep talks. All you have to do is just open the door to the locker room and let them run on the field.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do. I don't. I think with high school kids, it's any given day, and you just hope that they show up focused and really with that want to and that competitive drive that we have had at practice. I think it really does start in practices, because if they're not practicing hard, then they're not going to play hard come game day.
And I'm sure you have backups that we don't even know that well that would be starting at a lot of places. So when you have a team with this much talent, they're getting tested in practice a lot more than a team that maybe just has 6 or 7 top players. I have to imagine for you and for any top team in any sport that makes a big difference.
Yeah, we've got a very strong junior class. We have Izzy Apelt in on defense, Reagan Quinn, and them defending Lexi Tully and Devin Russell, every day makes them better. And they really do work hard. If you come to a practice, it's high paced, fast moving, intense. They like game days a lot more than they like practice days.
I mean, right now, I how many of your girls have already verbal to colleges? It's got to be it's certainly double figures, I'm guessing.
You're putting me on the spot. I totally don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I think at least 10, 11, I don't know, maybe 12. I usually, I could probably send it to you.
No, it just I mean it's probably 10 to 12 at least, which talks about and I'm a believer if you're going to play Division 3 sports, you're a really good athlete to play at that level. But not only that, you're sending a lot of girls to the top programs in the country. You watch a New Canaan, you watch in the North Carolina match down. You're going to see the best of New Canaan and Darien playing together.
Yep.
It's actually kind of cool.
It's so fun. We have very busy, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, if any of the alumni are playing. I like it before our season starts, that the college kids start a little earlier so I can catch more of their games. But we have a lot of alumni that we log into and watch every week.
Yeah, I just this isn't for people who don't know girls lacrosse. This is just like a magic team that is 10 or 12. I know you don't know the exact table, the exact number, but you got a lot of girls playing across the country right now.
Yeah, we have Natalie Lopez is at Northwestern. The Hardens are at UNC. Caitlin Tully and Dylan Patton are at Cornell. We've got a few kids at the 3 levels, Jade Lowe and Riley Shipman and Anna Zaluko and Emma Agnabenny. I am totally going to miss a few. Claire, I already mentioned Claire at Brown. It's really fun to just follow them and log in and watch on Twitter if I have to, or log into Twitter and watch the scores go. But they are making an impact. Oh, Nora Bellido at Gettysburg, she was a starter for them at the Final Four last year. So there's a lot of alumni that have definitely made a huge impact on our program.
I mean, after watching the last couple of years, but last year in particular, Dylan Patton and Keely Harden flying about the field. Not many teams would be able to handle losing not one but two players of that caliber. And like we said earlier, your girls, your attack has really stepped up this year, and you guys are averaging about 15 goals a game or so.
Yeah, you know what? The best part, Kaylee and Dylan, like as much as they were their presence, they didn't really care about goals. Like they did so much, all around the field that like last year they were our I would say top four. They weren't even like other kids were right in the goal scoring. So as much as we miss them all over the field, everybody else has stepped up and been able to supplement where they're not here anymore.
All right, so let's hype the game up. I already know what you're telling your girls about the number 1 and the 4 rankings already. So
Oh yeah.
so yeah, well, you told me what it is yesterday when I was at the game. So we won't talk about the noise as the outside stuff as you've been putting it, but we got 2 heavyweights getting ready to play. What's the keys going to be?
I think that draw controls are huge. Making sure you're disciplined on attack and making sure every possession counts. And then defensively, really, really coming together and, making sure you don't foul in the 8. You don't want to put them on the 8-meter too many times.
Yeah, obviously they've been playing well, and you've got another Humphrey that you have to worry about containing again.
Yeah, she's an extraordinary player, and definitely, game changer. So we definitely have to take her into account.
And by the same token, Darien's got a bunch of players that it seems like I haven't seen your stats, and knowing you probably don't know them fully, but I'm guessing your attack.
No.
I'm guessing though the scoring's pretty balanced. I'm guessing you don't have one player that's watching you, but between about 4 or 5 girls are probably within a few points of each other, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for sure. We like to make sure every kid on the attacking end's a threat, and making sure that we've got a balanced attack so that if they do lock off one, we can use all the others, and setting up motions that don't necessarily are always focused on the same kid over and over again. So it definitely helps having that, 6th and 7th player be almost right up there with that 3rd and 4th player.
You're a former player, and you're as competitive as anybody. We know what this game means to, and any big game means to the girls. Is a game like this, is it a little bit different for you too as a coach? You're just as competitive and want to win this game too.
I am so competitive that I always want to win every game, whether it's the Darien, Wilton, Ridgefield, St. Joe's, West Hampton Beach, Garden City. I'm competitive no matter who comes out to play.
But this game. It's different for everybody. Is it different for a coach also?
It definitely gets the kids going a little bit more, and you definitely have to recognize that they are a little more excited. So you have to sort of calm them down before you go out there, because they could come out frantic, and you want them to play their game. So that is definitely addressed before we head out on the field on Wednesday.
And then just looking at your schedule here after Darien, you've got a competitive out-of-state schedule with Garden City and Bronxville and St. Anthony's, and then your last 2 games of the year are against 2 perennial top teams that actually have their strongest teams that they've had in a few years in terms of Wilton and Ridgefield. So no matter what happens on Wednesday, the schedule continues to be difficult for you. And through the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna take one game at a time. I always tell the kids, the season is really quick, so you can't, take any game for granted, and you got to show up to play and work hard and get out there and get it done.
As a coach, we'll finish up here. I mean, any coach wants to be able to coach top players and really, bring out the best in the best. And you're looking again. You've been lucky to coach, and not just even these last 2 years, but your entire career. You've been able to coach the best of the best. What's I don't know if you can put it into words, but what's that like when you have players that are so good and you get the chance to try to make them even better?
It's always a lot of fun to, figure out the slightest weakness and get that kid to accomplish something they didn't think they could. And I think that one of the best parts about being in New Canaan in the last, I think it's 17 years. I don't even know, Dave.
I don't
It's
ask you
either
for
17.
numbers. I didn't ask you how many years before because I knew you wouldn't know.
I don't know. My dad would know.
Yeah.
But no, it really is. It's fun to push them and for them to push themselves and watch them accomplish something that they didn't think they could do maybe at the beginning of the season, and they do get it done by the end. And sometimes they don't get it done, but at least they worked hard to get there, and they had a great attitude. And there's always it's always a little bit of a roller coaster ride with some of these high school kids, but I really enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm so fortunate to have just such an extraordinary, supporting staff and a great group of families to work with.
All right. Well, 4:30 Wednesday over Kristin's shoulder there. That's the place you want to be if you want to see.
There we go.
There you go. It's so beautiful. There'll be a lot more people there on Wednesday than there are now, but it's a game that's fun for sports writers. We get challenged when you get really good athletes to try to do them justice with our words. So they're always a challenge. And the good thing about you and Darien and even that aside, but the New Canaan program is you don't not only have just talented kids, but you have really, really good kids. They're fun to be around. They're fun to write about. So Wednesday's going to be a lot of fun for me too, for a variety of reasons. So Kristin, thanks a lot for taking the time here. Thanks for I'm not going to say you purposely came out there just to hype the game up, but thanks for giving thanks for doing that.
Thank my 10-year-old who had field hockey.
Is that one of the ones that I've had a couple
That's
of times.
the state championship, baby.
Okay,
it'll be 10 years in June.
Okay, I'm gonna dig that pic. I know I have it on my phone.
I was gonna say it'll come up on your feed as 10 years ago, June 2nd.
Okay, well we'll save that one up for the state playoffs this year. But thanks again for taking the time, and best of luck not only Wednesday but the rest of the year.
Thanks so much, Dave. Really appreciate it.
And that's the Ruden Report podcast. I want to thank Kristin Woods, the New Canaan girls lacrosse coach. I want to thank Cooper Boardman for the sound editing. Like I said, if you really want to see the best of the best in a sport, 4:30 at New Canaan High School, Darien, New Canaan girls lacrosse. We'll be back with another episode real soon.